The world is watching and waiting. Will Maxwell Chikumbutso become the 21st century's greatest inventor, or fade into obscurity as another almost was? Will the scientific community give his inventions a fair hearing? Will powerful interests try to bury his technology? The answers to these questions will determine the course of the future. One thing's for sure, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Fasten your seatbelts. Imagine a world without energy bills, no more scrambling for loose change for the meter, no more eye-watering gas station fill-ups. Sounds good, right? Now imagine this utopia powered by devices tapping into a mysterious, limitless energy source. This isn't science fiction. This is the world Maxwell Chikumbutso, a Zimbabwean inventor, claims he can deliver. This isn't about solar panels or wind farms. This is different. Chikumbutso says he can generate power from radio waves, something most scientists scoff at. But what if he's onto something? What if he's cracked the code of limitless clean energy? Buckle up, because things are about to get interesting. Maxwell Chikumbutso isn't your typical tech CEO. He's a self-taught engineer from Zimbabwe, a country not exactly known for technological revolutions. But from his workshop, he's created inventions that sound like they're straight out of a superhero movie. We're talking about a television that runs without being plugged into anything, a helicopter powered by static electricity, a device that charges mobile phones instantly. The scientific establishment is skeptical, but the evidence, at least on the surface, is compelling. Could this be the real deal?
The picture when I was holding it like this. Yeah. You know, I think one thing that we need to educate our fellow Zimbabweans is that in many cases, when we are developing products, we don't start from scratch. We either buy some of the components over the counter, or can someone come and do this? Yeah, so that people. You start as a prototype. What that means is you don't start by developing the end product. You start by looking wherever you can get what you think it can work. Then you test. Right now, when we did these machines, we liked the design. I saw a lot of people were saying Broadway or whatever, solar panel. We just liked the case. It was something that we had in mind, especially for the rural community. Something that is dust-proof, waterproof, IP67, and also portable, that even a farmer can just carry around. So, I want you to tell me, I don't know where I think we wanted something to test, I don't know. Can we have something to connect? Okay, we'll power the fridge with this one. As you can see, show everyone, the machine, it tells you how much power is getting in. It has got in and out. It's telling you how much radio frequency it's converting right now into pure energy. So I don't know, maybe we put a solar somewhere. Yeah. So people were misinformed. We just liked the design, and we bought the design. This company is not Broadwell. It's a company which is found in Shenzhen. Broadwell, they're just buying and using their name. So talk to this company, and they agree to license us their cover. Then we put it for those reasons. So this is a greener power off-grid machine. We've got 600 watts and 1000 watts. We decided to go smaller when I was talking to the president. Like I said, right now our focus is on Africa. We want everyone in Africa to have the freedom. So we're looking at a small machine that is the cost competitiveness. For example, if you can sell this machine at $500, a tobacco farmer can afford to purchase it and use it at his house. You can power your fridge, you can power your iron, you can do all those kind of things. So it's giving you the liberty, the freedom to do whatever that you wanted to do. We have got bigger machines that goes to about 100 kilos.
Let's assume, for a minute, that Chikumbutso's inventions work as advertised. What does that mean for the world? In a word, chaos. The global energy market, worth trillions, would be upended. Oil giants, finished, coal companies, history. Governments often reliant on energy revenues would face turmoil, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine the geopolitical shifts. No more fighting over oil fields. Developing nations, rich in the radio waves Chikumbutso claims to harness, could become powerhouses. The world as we know it would be unrecognizable. Exciting? Terrifying? Probably a bit of both. History is littered with the corpses of brilliant ideas, shot down by those who stood to lose from them. Remember the guy who invented the mechanical loom, hated by textile workers who saw their jobs disappearing? Or how about the pioneers of the internet, mocked and dismissed by established media giants? New ideas, especially ones that threaten the status quo, are rarely welcomed with open arms. They're usually met with suspicion, ridicule, and sometimes outright hostility. Is that what's happening to Maxwell Chikumbutso? Let's be honest, there's a whiff of double standards in the air. If Chikumbutso were a white inventor from Silicon Valley, would he be facing the same level of skepticism? Or would investors be throwing money at him faster than you can say disruptive technology? Africa has a long history of being exploited for its resources, but rarely celebrated for its innovation. Is the world ready to accept that a solution to the energy crisis might come from Zimbabwe, not Silicon Valley? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. The scientific community, those guardians of knowledge and reason, have been largely dismissive of Chikumbutso's claims. Impossible, they cry. It violates the laws of physics. And maybe they're right. Maybe this is all a hoax, an elaborate scam. But where's the harm in investigating further? Science is supposed to be about curiosity, about testing assumptions, about pushing boundaries. Dismissing something out of hand because it doesn't fit the current paradigm isn't scientific. It's dogmatic.
So far, most of us still don't know if Maxwell Chikumbutso's microsonic energy device is real or not. And I'll leave that to you to decide whether it's a groundbreaking invention or a scam. But here's something fascinating about his story. Because he couldn't secure a patent for his technology, he had to come up with a unique way to protect his intellectual property. Maxwell claims that he built his microsonic device with a self-destructive safeguard to prevent anyone from tampering with it or reverse engineering it. At the end of the video, I will play a clip of Maxwell explaining this self-destructive technology in his own words. But first, let me summarize it for you. According to him, the device is equipped with a small detonator that will cause it to explode if someone tries to open it up or mess with its internal components. He assures that the explosion is small and won't harm anyone, but it's enough to destroy the device completely. On top of that, he says they've added software safeguards as well. If someone tries to tamper with the wiring or the system, the software will trigger the device to self-destruct. This raises an interesting question. While this technology might protect his invention from being copied, what happens if the device needs repairs? Imagine taking your car in for routine maintenance and accidentally triggering the self-destruct mechanism. It's a risky trade-off, but Maxwell argues that this was the only way he could protect his invention after being denied a patent. Now, I'm going to play a clip of Maxwell explaining this self-destructive technology in his own words. Listen carefully and let me know what you think in the comments.
We have done and we are trying to protect it. We've embedded it in the vehicle. Okay. Yes. And it has got a self-destructive technology. On the 150 wires on this car, if you try to tamper with 5 of them, we will classify. You destroy the microsonic energy device, both the software and the hardware. That's how we are protecting the technology, because we couldn't get a patent on ways on how to protect the technology in the event that we use it. For example, we go in a country, we will set up a power station, there's a hostile takeover, we're kicked. How do you protect our technology? That's why we took the trade secret route. Our patent is kept, our design is kept, the recipe is kept in 3 countries, and the people who are keeping it, they don't even know each other. The second thing, we try to protect the hardware side, because if an engineer removes like a circuit board, you can trace, you can see that this is a rectifier, this is a microchip. So we put a small amount of a detonator to say, but that cannot harm anyone. But if you just try to tamper with it, you blow it. That's part of the circuit board. Also on the software, if someone can have the source code, he can try to do reverse engineering. So we work on an algorithm that if you tamper with certain wires on the vehicle, you are going to destroy the microsonic energy device. Yeah.
So you can't tamper.
You cannot tamper with it. If you tamper with it, then you lose your investment.
Question, what would be the market price?
Right now we're still doing costing. I think before the end of this week we have the final costing, but it's going to...
Imagine if Chikumbutso's technology were to become widely available, no more reliance on greedy energy companies, no more power cuts, people could generate their own clean, free energy. The implications for developing nations are staggering. Hospitals could run without generators, schools could connect to the internet, farmers could irrigate their fields. It's a tantalizing vision, a world where energy poverty is a relic of the past. But is it too good to be true? Climate change is the biggest threat facing humanity. We desperately need clean, sustainable energy sources. What if the answer isn't found in expensive solar panels or unreliable wind turbines, but in the radio waves crackling all around us? Chikumbutso's inventions, if they prove to be genuine, could spark a green revolution, and not the kind that requires expensive Teslas and government subsidies. This could be a revolution accessible to everyone, rich or poor, from the bustling cities of the West to the remote villages of Africa. The world is watching and waiting. Will Maxwell Chikumbutso become the 21st century's greatest inventor, or fade into obscurity as another almost was? Will the scientific community give his inventions a fair hearing? Will powerful interests try to bury his technology? The answers to these questions will determine the course of the future. One thing's for sure, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Fasten your seatbelts.